Once the symbol of American freedom, Harley-Davidson is now struggling to stay relevant in a world that's racing past it. How did one of the most iconic motorcycle brands lose its edge? This isn't just a business decline, it's a cultural shift. Founded in 1903 in Milwaukee, Harley grew from a small operation into a national icon. Its big, loud bikes embodied rebellion and post-war freedom, especially after World War II, when returning soldiers helped fuel its rise. The brand wasn't just about motorcycles, it was about identity. Harley survived the Great Depression and outlasted rivals like Indian motorcycles. For decades, strong sales, loyal fans, and sharp marketing kept it on top. Riders gathered for Harley rallies, wore the gear, and celebrated the lifestyle. But by the 2010s, things began to change. By 2023, Harley was in serious trouble. Its core U.S. market shrank as interest in heavyweight cruisers declined. Younger riders weren't interested in big, expensive bikes. A viral comment summed it up: "No young person wants a Harley." Motorcycles overall are less popular in the U.S., and Harley's attempts to modernize, adding tech and redesigning models, alienated many loyalists who preferred simpler, air-cooled machines. As a result, riders are holding on to older Harleys or buying used, while new models struggle to gain traction. Harley tried to reach younger buyers with smaller, cheaper models, but they flopped. The company faces a generational divide. Younger consumers prefer lighter, faster, more affordable bikes, or electric alternatives, and Harley doesn't easily fit into that space. The problem isn't just product, it's perception. Harley's image of bearded riders, leather jackets, and loud pipes feels outdated to a generation that values sustainability, quiet, and efficiency. In cities, a giant cruiser just doesn't make sense. International expansion has been tough too. In India, a massive bike market, Harley failed to gain traction due to high prices and mismatched offerings. It exited in 2020, a sign that global appeal isn't guaranteed. Now, Harley is caught between preserving its legacy and reinventing itself. It's a tough balance. The road ahead is uncertain, and the company's future depends as much on cultural relevance as financial strategy. For decades, motorcycles in the U.S. were more than just vehicles. They symbolized freedom, status, and rebellion. Harley-Davidson stood at the center of that culture. But times have changed. One of Harley's biggest challenges today is demographics. Its core riders are aging. While the company says the average buyer is 49, some analysts believe it's closer to the late 50s. Many of these riders remember Harley's heyday in the 80s and 2000s, but now, they're riding less or stopping altogether. Younger riders aren't replacing them. This isn't just Harley's problem. Younger generations are losing interest in motorcycles in general. Urban living, safety concerns, high costs, and changing values have made motorcycles less appealing. In crowded cities, large cruisers feel outdated and impractical. Many younger people opt for public transit, e-scooters, or bicycles instead. Culturally, Harley's image hasn't aged well. Its rugged, rebellious brand, leather, beards, and roaring engines, doesn't resonate with today's youth. Some even see it as cringeworthy. Younger buyers are turning to smaller, sportier, and more affordable bikes from other brands, which better align with practical transportation needs. Harley tried to respond. In 2012, it launched a smaller, cheaper bike aimed at younger riders. It flopped. Critics said it missed the mark, and Harley dropped the model, reinforcing the idea that the brand couldn't adapt. Meanwhile, Indian Motorcycles, owned by Polaris, has been more flexible. It still sells cruisers, but with modern tech and design. While it hasn't escaped the broader market shift, Indian's international sales rose over 20% in 2024, while Harley's dropped by 15% in the same markets. At the same time, global motorcycle sales are booming, just not in Harley's segment. In 2024, sales hit a record 61.88 million units, driven by growth in countries like India, Mexico, and Brazil. But these markets want small, fuel-efficient bikes, not big, loud cruisers. Harley's models are expensive, bulky, and designed for wide highways, not dense city traffic. Harley's struggle goes beyond branding or marketing. It's facing a fundamental mismatch between its products and what the modern global rider wants. Reinvention is risky for any legacy brand, especially one built on such a specific identity. But without change, Harley risks being left behind. Harley-Davidson's decline, a brand at a crossroads. Sales in North America, Harley's biggest market, continue to slide. In early 2024, Harley sold just over 15,000 bikes in the region, down 4% from the previous year. Europe and the Middle East also saw declines. The trend is global, not regional. Harley is stuck between two worlds, older riders who want the classic experience and younger buyers looking for something fresh. In trying to satisfy both, it's struggling to satisfy either. By late 2024, revenue had dropped 35% year-over-year, coming in at $688 million, well below expectations. The company posted a loss of 93 cents per share, far worse than the projected 68 cents. The core motorcycle segment was hit hardest, with revenue down 47% and unit sales down nearly 15% to 25,660 bikes. The losses weren't limited to one market. Sales fell 4% in North America and 7% in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. This isn't just a US issue, it's global. One key problem is Harley's aging customer base. As older riders drop off, the company hasn't attracted enough younger ones to replace them. Meanwhile, its focus on premium, high-priced bikes may be limiting its appeal. Younger buyers are priced out or uninterested in expensive cruisers tied to an outdated image. Harley tried to modernize with Livewire, its electric bike brand. While it drew attention at launch, sales have been weak. Only 236 units were shipped in the last quarter of 2024, a 54% drop from a year before. Revenue fell 32% to just $10 million, and the division still lost $26 million. The problem? Livewire was too expensive and didn't resonate with younger riders. Critics say Harley misread the market, launching an innovative product under a brand that didn't feel modern. This pattern isn't new. Every time Harley tries to evolve, it seems caught between holding on to the past and chasing the future, pleasing no one fully. Despite all this, the company is still trying to stay afloat. It ended 2024 with $1.59 billion in cash and cut its long-term debt to $4.47 billion. It's also still paying dividends, an attempt to keep investor confidence up. But the outlook is shaky. Revenue is down, margins are thin, and investor trust is fading. Harley's once iconic brand, synonymous with freedom and rebellion, now feels dated. Younger buyers care more about sustainability, tech, and practicality than leather jackets and chrome. Meanwhile, competitors are gaining ground. Honda, Yamaha, and Indian offer modern, well-priced bikes with updated tech. New electric startups are building sleek, app-connected models aimed squarely at the next generation. Harley, in contrast, feels like it's playing catch-up. It has tried to pivot with the Rev Max platform, which supports multiple bike styles like the Pan America and Sportster S. But these efforts haven't reversed the broader sales decline. Harley is at a tipping point. It can't lean on legacy and nostalgia forever. To survive, it needs a clear strategy, whether that's a real push into electric, more affordable models for global markets, or a full rethink of what the Harley brand stands for today. Because right now, the biggest risk isn't change. It's standing still. Harley-Davidson's 2025 outlook paints a cautious picture. The company expects flat or slightly declining revenue, down as much as 5%, suggesting it doesn't anticipate much growth. In a fast-changing industry, stagnation can be just as risky as decline. Profit margins are also under pressure, with operating income expected between 7 to 8%. For a premium brand with high costs, that's thin. Small disruptions could have outsized effects. One bright spot is Harley-Davidson Financial Services, which remains profitable. But even here, revenue is expected to drop 10 to 15% in 2025, adding to investor concerns. Finally, Harley must update its identity. For decades, it stood for a specific type of rider, but that image now limits its appeal. The brand must evolve, like Ford or Jeep have, blending tradition with modern values like sustainability, accessibility, and innovation. If Harley keeps focusing only on high-end cruisers for aging riders, it faces a steady decline. But if it can reinvent itself, with the right products, strategy, and brand message, it still has a shot. Harley has overcome big challenges before. The question is whether it can do it again in a very different world. The path forward hinges on three things: building affordable, compelling electric bikes, expanding globally with region-specific models, and reshaping the brand to connect with younger, more diverse riders. Get those right, and Harley could thrive. Miss the moment, and it risks becoming a brand remembered, not ridden.